Welcome to On the Brink with Andi Simon. Hi, I'm Andi Simon, and as you know, my job is to get you off the brink. And I like to do that by helping you listen to other people and their stories to understand how they have taken their observations and turned them into innovations, taken the challenges and turned them into opportunities, seen things that look like problems and made them into enormous possibilities. And you can as well. Today, I want you to listen carefully to the second in our webinar series about peace through business. This is a program I was introduced to by Monica Smiley, and I'll introduce Monica in a moment, and Manizha Wafeq, who has been running this program for Afghanistan. And today we're going to hear from Chantel Munyanyeri, so they can give you an idea about how women in countries like Afghanistan and Rwanda have taken the bull by the horn and started to transform the role women can play there through business. If you did not see our first webinar, I will put a link into this one at the end so that you can link back to it. But you can certainly see it both on our website, simonassociates.net, on Enterprising Women as well. And we'll tell you where you can make your contributions that I'm sure you're going to want to make, or find yourself a mentor and a mentee that you can begin to help, as you really have to understand this is not about me, it's about the bigger we and how women are looking for help from all of the sisterhood that can participate. Let me first begin by introducing Monica Smiley. I love Monica Smiley, and what she's doing is amazing and inspires us. But Monica is a wonderful editor and publisher of Enterprising Women, a national and now global magazine that she and her team launched in May of 2000 to provide a strong voice for women entrepreneurs. I attended my first Enterprising Women conference last year, and I was just blown away. It was just full of the most amazing women who are transforming business, both through purpose, but also through innovative ways of running businesses. They just see things differently. Monica is also the president and founder of Enterprising Women Foundation, which is managing the Peace Through Business program. And she'll tell you a little bit more about it. She'll tell you a little bit more about Dr. Terry Neese, who founded this. And then we'll learn from Chantel about what it's like to go through it and the others who are going through it with her and have been there before. And then Manisha is going to talk about the program itself, so you can get a good feel for the 10-week multiple time program and how it really is not just a gig, it's really fascinating. Monica, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for bringing these wonderful women here. Tell us about Monica and Enterprising Women and Peace Through Business.
Okay, great, wonderful. Well, thank you, Andi. We're thrilled to be here and happy to have an opportunity to share the story with your listeners. So, as you mentioned, Enterprising Women started 25 years ago with Enterprising Women magazine. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary in 2025, so thrilled about that. But about 12 years ago, we started a sister nonprofit called the Enterprising Women Foundation. And some of your listeners may know about our Young Enterprising Women program that we've been hosting this year in 30 cities across the country to mentor young women at the high school level, primarily from underserved communities. So we have that wonderful program. But last year we had an opportunity to take over, if you will, the Peace Through Business program as part of the Enterprising Women Foundation. My introduction came to it through my good friend, Dr. Terry Neese, who founded the program. Next year, it will be 20 years ago, after First Lady Laura Bush reached out to her to go to Afghanistan and to work with her on creating a program that would help women entrepreneurs in Afghanistan start and grow businesses. So we began in Afghanistan, but a year later, we expanded the program into Rwanda. And Chantel is here to really share more of that journey with you. I just want to share, Andy, I had the opportunity to travel twice to Rwanda with Terry and with a delegation in 2014 and then again in 2018. It really struck me how much the country had changed just in those 4 years. I need to get back there again because I'm sure Chantel could tell us there have been tremendous changes since that time. But just in that period of time, we saw just incredible differences. And a quick example, In 2008, I had an opportunity to mentor a woman from Rwanda who was starting a bed and breakfast there. And she was doing it because there were very few hotels at the time there. They really saw a need. While she was in the US as part of our leadership program in the summer, she completely furnished the hotel, bought 13 of everything. We shopped all over for 13 shower curtains and 13 bath mats and you name it. And she took over my guest room and packed an incredible amount of luggage that went back to Rwanda with her. But the interesting thing was, just a few years later, when I was back there in 2018, they had since built a convention center and a Radisson hotel. And that opened up all sorts of opportunities for travel into the country, for event planners, for, a whole new industry. And one of the things I like to share when I think about the program in Rwanda is just the fact that the women there have been so entrepreneurial. And when they're trained in the Peace Through Business program, they may have one idea in mind to start a business. But once they have those core business skills and they see another opportunity in their country, they'll start another business. And so many of our graduates have started multiple businesses. And Chantel can share the story. We had a dairy farmer in the program. We were discussing her the other day, who was mentored by a dairy farmer here in North Carolina. Well, within, I don't know, a couple of years, she had bought property and opened a strip mall that had a hair salon and had, a little grocery store. And so there are hundreds of stories, I'm sure, like that. But let me just share that we've seen the impact of this program, and I'm thrilled that you're going to hear directly from Chantel about not only the progress we've made in Rwanda, but this last year there's been tremendous growth as we've moved into Uganda, and we've also begun sharing the program virtually in a number of other countries, in Canada, in the UK. She recently told us we have some students now from South Africa in the program. So we're just delighted with the growth, and it's really come from the passion that Chantel has. Whenever she tells us she wants to do something new, we'll say, "Are you sure you have the time to do that? Can you take on one more, class of students?" And she always says yes. She just is so driven and so passionate about the program. So,
You know,
Andy,
my,
I'll turn it back to you, but
I
we're
appreciate
thrilled
it.
to have her.
But it's interesting because I'm a blue ocean strategist, and for I don't know 20 years now, I've done 500 workshops on the topic, and what this is a blue ocean. It's not duplicative, it's not competitive, it's creating a whole new way, and the women who you're working with see the world the same way. It isn't about being another, it's really seeing a need and finding ways to make it happen. That is just inspirational. It's fantastic. Let me introduce you to Chantel. You're ready to say something, and I know I can't wait to hear it. But the listeners and the viewers should know that Chantel is Peace Through Business Program Director of Rwanda, Uganda, Canada, and the UK, a big part of the world. She was born in Rwanda and is a prominent Rwandan Canadian entrepreneur. She made history in 2009. You're going to love this. As the first female owner of a car repair and paint shop in Kigali, the capital of Rwanda. Why not? We need cars. They need to get repaired. Why not a woman doing it? And then she served as the inaugural female president of the Rwandan Garage Association for 5 years. I know some guys are going to shrug their shoulders and say, she did what? But I have a hunch she did it with passion and purpose and found, oh man, there's an unmet need, and I'm going to create a new way to do it. Chantel, thank you for joining us. Tell us about yourself and about this journey that you've been on. I know our listeners and our viewers are going to want to know more about both the repair shop, but also about your own program. Please.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yes, my story is also tied to PTB. Before joining the program, I had already started my business, although it was after the Rwanda was healing from the genocide happened in 1994. So as a survivor and in my community, we're rebuilding, families were struggling to make food on table. So, and women it was difficult to run businesses, also at the same time being a mother and being food on table for those women around and for the kids and the orphans. So for me as well, I started a business. It was out of passion. So, but running business, honestly, I didn't even know what was business, what I was doing. But when I started, I attended the program with Peace Through Business. So, and that's when I was, it's like my eyes was open. So I learned something called business plan. I didn't know what about business plan is. But when I attended the Peace Through Business class, so it was my first time to hear about that word. And when I attended the program, I sat down and wrote my own business plan. So that plan became my guideline. So, and since then, I used it to stay focused on my goals. So after also 1 year after attending a class, PTB, I became the country facilitator because I wanted to learn more and also to help my fellow women. So but even though I was facing challenges like any entrepreneur, the business plan helped me anticipate problems and avoid them before they affect my business. So PTB also taught me something that challenged everything, how to separate myself from my business. So in my business, before I was running my business as the way I wanted, but after attending the program, so my business, I became like, I learned to know that I am an employee. The business has to pay me. If the business fails, it should not destroy me as a person. That mindset gave me freedom, discipline, and resilience. And I have carried that lesson towards not only for myself, but also for the women I now mentor as the program director. So that's how the program PTB has played a big role in my life.
The women in Rwanda, and I suspect in South Africa and elsewhere, tell me a little bit more about how do they find out about the program? And then how do we use their alumni to build a sisterhood? Give us a little more of I think, the living story, because I love your story, but I have a hunch there's a multiplier here, and it's bigger than just Chantel. Am I right?
Yes. For our program, we send out an application link where women has to apply. But what we do have to see if they have a determination, if they have a vision, if they know they know what they want, if they need the skills, if they want to learn. So they fill out the form, and you have to select those women who eager to learn, who has a vision to expand their businesses and to grow. So they apply, then we have to choose those like 25 women in each country so that we can be able to accommodate and help them. So we run the program for the 10 weeks in each country, and we do 10 weeks and twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. So after the training of 10 weeks, they have to write their solid business plans where they do the presentations, and also we selected the best ones to go to the US for the leadership development and also to meet other women in the annual conference of the Enterprising Women Foundation. So learning and writing their business plans, it's like it helps them see the projections of their businesses and see how they can grow their businesses and expand.
One of the things that I've learned over the years, we used to run a program at Washington University called the Simon Initiative for Entrepreneurship. And I learned a lot about the entrepreneurs who are funding their businesses out of revenue as opposed to finding funding. Are there funding sources in Rwanda that people can tap into, banks or other kinds of investors, or do they basically grow their business out of good revenue?
They're still struggling with the finances. They have still have lacking the resources or enough capital, startup capital to start their business they are dreaming of. So, and also the banks, we are still struggling with the loans, the interest rate, which is very high.
Yes.
But with the partnership with the government, they set up incentives to help women access to loans with the low interest rate. That's where I really appreciate our government because we know we have the majority of the members of parliament in the parliament, so they are decision makers. So they have helped women to those who wants to start a business to access to finance with a low interest rate. So that's why you see our country's economy is booming because of women entrepreneurs in Rwanda.
And the economy is booming with women in government, huh? Helping you.
Yes.
There's an alignment there. They understand it isn't a competition, but it's a creative process to help each other rise together.
And it's
Yeah,
actually one of the few countries in the world with a majority women,
No.
yeah, in parliament, which is, as you know, very unusual.
But it has a very unusual history as well, and I think the women have risen both in business and government. I was curious. You said something earlier, and the work life of a woman is always a challenge. Is there family that help with raising the children? Is there something in Rwanda that's shareable that you can help us understand how you can grow a business running the auto repair and still have a family and make that work in some fashion? Or is it a challenge there like it is everywhere here?
Yeah, it's like everywhere. You have to compromise in the families when, like, woman is going to start a business. So your husband should allow the wife to go and have business, and also stay home and arrange everything at home when the wife is going to do business. So here in Rwanda, we are more advanced. So women are free to do the business, whatever they want to do. But of course, as mothers, you have responsibilities. You have to come back and also be a mother, be a wife, be a household. So, and women from the P through business training program, so they know how to balance their home life and also the business life, because the two has to complete each other, right?
You do?
So, yeah, it's everywhere, but we have support from the community, and also in our culture, women always and the husband, they have to compromise and agree on their projections and the future of their house and the business.
Is it stigmatized for a woman to be in business, or is it encouraged and celebrated?
Of course, it's encouraged and celebrated, because some women are fear to start a business once they don't know, they don't have business skills. So so once they achieve something, they have to be celebrated. Of course, they are celebrated once they achieve their goals and do business successfully. So that's what I encourage women doing the joining of PTB class. So once they come, I encourage them to reach out to their goals, be successful for themselves, for the communities, and for the country. Once they succeed, of course, they are celebrated. They celebrate for themselves for the achievement, become confident and the resilience and determination. So that has to be celebrated. And even with business doesn't fail, if a business fail, also they should not be feeling like losers. They should feel like once they fail, they can stand up and do it again.
Yes. Well,
Yeah,
in
as an
Silicon
entrepreneur.
Valley, if you haven't failed, then you're not worth anything until the next one. It's hard to figure it all out. But I do think you're telling us something extremely important, that in Rwanda, perhaps we can all begin to see how women can play an extraordinarily important role in building businesses for themselves and their communities and the country itself. Any last thoughts? Or I'm going to ask Manizha to talk a little bit more about the program for our audience. Any last thoughts and anything you can share with us about the future? Chantel?
Oh, I thought you were asking Manisha.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yes, for the future is to encourage more women to attend our Peace Through Business program, because I have seen the impact the Peace Through Business has played in our community, in our country, and also globally, because I have some stories about how Peace Through Business women, like from Canada, has gained confidence to penetrate the Canadian market as migrants, the same as in the UK. So having Peace Through Business in the future, I encourage the supporters and the donors to help, because those women who are coming to attend our program, we have seen the impact, and the journey is long. So we have, like, I can tell you the story about a lady from Canada. She attended our PTB program, and she got the opportunity to travel and attend the Enterprising Men Foundation is a new conference in the United States. So there she connected with a woman. She runs a successful socks company. So Diane, she's called Diane, it was an opportunity as a board stepped forward. So she secured a franchise partnership, and today she's selling those socks in Canada.
Wow.
This is one example. So another example is a lady called Anita. Anita, she graduated her through business, and she was selling medical equipment. So when she traveled to the United States, she has met a mentor called she was called, let me see, Kathy Cruzan.
Uh-huh.
So Kathy Cruzan mentored her, and when she came back and she started, her business grew, and now she has a hospital with the 50 beds.
My.
Yes, helping delivering babies. So her hospital now, she has opened another hospital in the northern province, the second one. So that was the successful story where we can share with everyone who wants to join our program and also wants to support it, because they're changing lives of people, not for business, also for changing lives of people around them.
You know, it would be, if you hadn't shared a story like that, it would be hard to imagine what actually can happen and what the big multipliers are, because you're right. This isn't just a business for her. This is a whole transformation of the communities in which they're serving. What an exciting story to share. I'm gonna say pause for a moment, and I'm gonna ask Manisha to share with our audiences how the program actually came together. How does it work? So we mentioned that it's not a gig. You don't come for a weekend and leave transforming woman. What does the program actually do?
All right, Andy. So as Chantal explained, after we announced the program and we get applications, usually 3-4 times applications, more than what we can absorb in each of our cohorts. We have to screen them. We have to verify their businesses physically as well, and then make a selection of 30 to 35 women-owned businesses in each of the countries to go through our program. The program has 3 components. The first component is the in-country training, and our in-country training usually is 8 to 10 weeks. 8 to 10 weeks include teaching them how to write their business plan, as Chantal was explaining, which helped her and helps all of the women business owners that go through the program. And through writing their business plan, we teach them marketing management, digital sales, financial management, operations management, human resource management, laws and regulations in those countries as well, laws and regulations around taxation, around business and investment. So they are very well aware of what environment they're working in and what laws they should observe before really getting into any trouble. The second component of the program is leadership development. Leadership development is traveling to the United States. Fortunately, when things were much better before COVID, we had a big group of Afghans and Rwandans, 15 from each country traveling to the US, which was also a great opportunity for each of them to have that cultural exchange and meeting sisters from the other part of the world and learn from each other. But after COVID, things changed, of course, and of course, after Taliban's takeover in Afghanistan as well, things changed. So now we only bring Rwandan and some other women from other countries, but some of Afghan women who are in the US and now running their businesses here to this exposure trip, I would say, where they come to the US, participate in a conference. The last 2 years in the Enterprising Women annual conference, which is a tremendous exposure for them to meet American business owners, women business owners, get mentored by them, learn from them. I mean, what that exposure can do to them, and Andy is phenomenal, and then out of words that I could explain, really it changes their mindset, approach, attitude, and they go back with a ton of experience with that exposure. So that's a very important component of the program. And then the third component of the program is paid forward. When we help them get organized and the alumni association help us with the other classes when we teach once they graduate, mentor other women, be part of their community, and as well as most importantly, doing policy advocacy. So we encourage them to be leaders and do policy advocacy in their countries.
Don't you just love what you just said? I mean, it is an amazing program that you developed. And it is not a gig. It is a transformative program that takes in talented women and gives them hope that they can turn their ideas into amazing businesses and transform the communities in which they live and want to help others. This is really wonderful. Monica, I think we're about ready for you to wrap us up. And I do think there's a good call to action here for our listeners and our viewers. This isn't just about learning about this. This is about becoming engaged with it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and Andy, let me just share that, we've been hosting the Enterprising Women of the Year Awards conference for 23 years now. And every year for the last close to 20 years, we've given one Afghan and one Rwandan woman the Enterprising Women of the Year Award. We've done it in the summer at their Leadership Institute. So this last year in Nashville, it was the first time we had a delegation of 22 women from the Peace or Business program in Nashville for the Enterprising Women Conference. We were able to actually present the Enterprising Women of the Year Award on stage in front of a ballroom of cheering women, and it was just incredible. So we're excited to continue with that partnership. We think it's such, as Manizha said, such a wonderful opportunity for the women in the Enterprising Women community to meet these women, for them to experience and hear about best practices in the US. It's just such a natural fit and such a great partnership. We see so much growth in the Peace or Business program, but as you mentioned, funding is challenging, and I think this year is particularly challenging with the economic environment right now, the tariffs, so many things going on, that it's not the easiest time to raise funds. And there have been some cutbacks with the Trump administration that have impacted USAID and other organizations. So we really need, particularly the women's business community, to come out and support this program, to understand how incredibly vital it is, what a difference it's making. We're happy to talk with anyone who's interested in getting engaged at any level, to be an e-mentor, to participate in the conference as a mentor. I know, Andy, you stepped up and did that at the Nashville conference and had an opportunity to be a mentor. And it's just so meaningful to do that. And then, of course, we need those funds. Manizha and Chantel are paid program directors. We want to keep giving them that salary. That's critical. All the work that we do is so important, and it has to be funded. We've run business competitions. Manizha's had a competition in Afghanistan for years that the women compete, and they do receive grants as a result of it. So, there are many ways that the funding is used. We're a very lean organization. All the dollars go directly into the program. And as you mentioned, the easiest way to donate is just through enterprisingwomenfoundation.org. You'll see Peace Through Business prominently on the website, and you can click that link and give any amount that you're able to. And we appreciate this opportunity to share it with a wider audience of your listeners, Andy. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Well, Monica, it's truly been a marvelous conversation. Chantel and Manizha, it's just wonderful to know you and to know what you are doing and the impact it's having. It is very purposeful, but you matter, and this organization does to so many women in so many ways. So for our audience, thank you for coming. I like to give a little thing here. We were ranked 18th out of the top 100 podcasts on the topic of change. I'm a corporate anthropologist and I specialize in helping organizations change. But think about it. I can say that, but these women are doing it. I do it too. But this is really amazing how we can help people see, feel, and think in new ways and take their observations, turn them into innovations with enormous impact. And I'm just honored to have been able to do it, Monica. So thank you for giving me a chance to tell your story. I wasn't quite sure how to be of help here with the third webinar. It's going to be Monica and Dr. Terry Neese telling you a little bit more about the origins and the development and the future. And because everything that we have here is to lead forward and not simply to celebrate what's been achieved. I don't think we're ever going to arrive. And the journey is as important as the destination. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Thank you. And I will say goodbye to everyone who's come today. Please send to me all kinds of cool people to interview. I think we've done 400 and some odd of these, and I still get a high out of our opportunity to tell people's stories and to share it with others. Thank you. And I'll say goodbye. Bye now.